The day I almost quit the Merchant Marine. Now every job has its bad days. It's rough days where you're soaked in sweat, soaked in fucking oil, dirt, whatever it may be, and you're just sick of getting yelled at by somebody. We all have those jobs. But on this day, as a merchant mariner, I kind of just was completely fed up with the situation, and I was ready to quit. It was almost in that moment, I was ready to get off the ship, jump overboard, and swim over to the closest port. Clearly, as you can tell, I stuck around in the Merchant Marine. It did turn out to be what I wanted after all. And if being in the Merchant Marine is something that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check out my community, Sailors Connect, link in description, where you will meet mariners from all over the world, including myself, and we will help guide you step by step to the perfect path to becoming a merchant mariner and getting on your first ship. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check it out, link in description. Now let's jump back a few years at this point when I was working, busting my freaking ass day in and day out on a cable ship. Looking back at it on this specific cable ship, I loved it. I had a great time. Went to beautiful places, worked with awesome people, and it really wasn't that hard of work. It was just some days were a little more freaking annoying than other ones. Simple as that. On this day, we were coiling up cable for about 6 hours straight. Coiling this cable, and when I mean cable, it's about this thick. That freaking thick cable coming from the deck above through a hose pipe, and we're just coiling in these massive circles. Just walking it for hours, taking turns. You get a nasty shoulder pump. That's awesome. Doing that for 6 hours, come out ready for your break. All right, let's go. Let's go to coffee. So we're on our way out to go get some coffee, and the bosun comes up to me. Great guy. Sometimes he would slip up and make mistakes and forget some things, but he was a great guy. Went out with him a bunch of times. It was awesome. In this occasion, when I was supposed to be going to coffee, he tells me that I need to go watch the cable as it comes down, because now it's coming down automatically. It doesn't need to be walked anymore. It's found its rhythm, its speed. It's able to just fall in line by itself with the weight of gravity taking it into perfect coils. He says you have to watch it. And I said, okay, I'll go watch it, and I'll take coffee after I watch it. When someone's done with coffee, they'll come replace me. Sounds good. No issues there. Now, it's when this situation seemed to get out of hand when I sat in there for an hour. Coffee was a half an hour, and I said, okay, maybe I'll have an extended coffee break, whatever. And then another hour went by. And then another hour went by of me sitting in this tunnel watching the coil get spooled up. And I didn't have a radio. Don't ask me why I didn't have a radio at the time. I should have had a radio if I was going down there to watch it. But for some reason, I didn't. And it's almost 4 hours later when someone comes down and they say, whoa, we were looking for you. Where have you been? They thought you were in your room knocking at your door. I said, are you fucking kidding me? I've been down here for 4 hours and you're just realizing I'm here now? The bosun sent me down here 4 hours ago. I was like, where is he? He's like, he's been on deck looking for you. Okay. So I've been stuck in this tunnel for 4 hours, missed coffee, and now it's almost dinner time. Okay. That's fine, it's whatever. I'll go up and get ready for dinner. On my way up, I run into the bosun. And this bosun, like I said, pretty forgetful. Gets irritated sometimes. And this bosun comes up to me and he goes, where have you been? Not the nicest way. You can hear those little snip with his tongue there. But I acted like nothing was up. I was like, oh, I was down watching the cable for the last 4 hours. Hopefully, I said 4 hours. Hopefully, having him catch on to that I said for 4 hours. And he goes, well, we needed you up here. We had to move some shit around. We needed you. Where were you? I said I was down watching cable, lay out for 4 hours. You told me to go down there. He goes, yeah. And he walks off. And I'm like, okay. I just brush it off. I'm like, all right. He clearly forgot, and he's clearly not going to admit that he forgot. So, coming up to dinner, about half an hour from dinner, he calls me over. Gotta continue moving some stuff. I'm like, all right, no issues here. At this point, I'm irritated. I'm already soaked in sweat, covered in grease and mud, but I'm making it through. No complaints. I'm making it through. Now this is when I'm in to move a box with him, and I guess from dehydration and exertion of my body, something in my knee popped. And this thing in my knee that popped, I felt a little pinch in there, but it didn't bother me. I just kept going. And now, dinner's over. I'm going into my room, take off my coveralls. Overall, I'm completely irritated, and my knee is starting to freaking ache like crazy. I have no idea what's going on. Coveralls fall off, and I see my knee. My knee was a baseball sticking out of it. This was my knee. This was the bump coming out of it. It was like this weird jelly feeling. It must have just filled with liquid, and who freaking knows what was going on in there. But it didn't hurt yet. It was sensitive at the touch, and it was definitely whacked out. Fucking whacked out. But I was like, whatever, I'll just shower and go to bed. I'm just had enough of this. Next day comes around, and I'm completely limping at this point. I am limping, but I have to hide it. Because if you get injured, you have to go under investigation, and they have to check what's wrong and see if it's like this big deal, and if the company has to send you home and all this crap. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm here to get paid. Let me get through this. And I'm limping. So I make it down. We're mustering up. We're having a meeting, good morning meeting. At this point, this is when the bosun has his little snarky remark with the chief mate about me. And he goes, yeah, we would have got the supplies done a lot quicker yesterday if Dean wasn't missing for half the day. I was like, I just turned to him and smiled. I was like, you motherfucker, dude. I was like, you knew. In the back of your mind, you knew I was down in that tunnel for 4 hours, that you forgot me down there. And then I come up, you say that thing to me, I bust my knee, helping you with this shit. Which is no issues. That's not his fault. Nothing. I didn't blame him for anything that day before. It was in that moment when he called me out like that in front of the chief mate. That is when I was on the brink of leaving. I finished that day and I was in my room seriously contemplating, what did I get myself into? Is this what I've been dreaming it to be? Is this what I really wanted from this industry, from this job? This is my life. I have to make sure I'm happy doing what I want to do. So in that mental state, I calmed myself down and I went to sleep, woke up, went to work, tried to be in the best mood as possible because that's just how I like to do it. I like to carry a smile as no matter what's going on. I like to work hard. I like to play hard. I like to be friends with everybody if possible. So I started that day off with part of me wanted to smack him across his mouth. Of course, just like anyone else would. But I had to make sure we're in a good place with the two of us because he is the bosun. He is the essential deck boss for me as an AB. And I had to approach him and be like, hey, like, we good? Like, what's up? Like, what's going on here? And he seemed like nothing was ever happened. He seemed completely fine. As the day went on, we were joking, we were laughing. We were joking about the whole thing, me being stuck down there. I was like, okay, good. We have a good relationship. Clearly, it's working out. And guess we went on and we went into some amazing places after that. We took this ship and went to some beautiful ports all over the world. Went out and had amazing dishes together. Me and this man and the crew. All of us together had some amazing dishes. Saw amazing things. Had a great time. And in this process of traveling the world, making really good money, and realizing that this guy is actually a good guy, and everyone on this crew is friendly, and all together, we can be together, we can be a crew together, we can be friendly, and enjoy ourselves while we're working on the clock and off the clock. Once I realized this, even after the hard days that every job has hard days, but not every job gets to travel the freaking world on a ship across the ocean and get to see these amazing places. That's how I realized I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Imagine that guy doing that same thing to me in a cubicle in an office building while we're getting some water on a break. Imagine he did that to me then. What would I have to look forward to? On a ship, I have the beautiful sunset, the beautiful sunrise, the constellations, a new country, the ocean breeze, the adventure, the excitement. The ocean clears your head in seconds after a problem happens. Yes, there are issues. Like any other job, there are issues. But there are also great things, great people, like any other job. But like I said, unlike any other job, this has an immense amount of adventure. You become friends with somebody very quickly when you're traveling the world with them. When you're getting out and exploring these exotic locations, sharing these stories, sharing this fun, adventurous time with someone else, you get past that bullshit real quick. I can promise you. So the thing that stopped me, I was minutes away from quitting. Minutes away from quitting. I'm so thankful I slept it off that day. It was just a rough day. Have I had many rough days after that? Yes. But now anytime I have a rough day, I look out onto the ocean. I see the horizon. I see this beautiful world that we live in, this beautiful ocean. And I think to myself, who cares? Who cares about that dumb shit that I just went through? Doesn't matter. It's not big enough to bother me. This world is big enough to explore and get paid to do it as a merchant mariner. If you're interested in becoming a merchant mariner, you want to work with me directly, join my community, Sailors Connect, link in description. You'll meet mariners from all over the world who will help you step by step to becoming a merchant mariner. I almost quit. I really did. I almost quit. But I would have missed out on so much excitement. Some of my best memories in my life have been made on a ship, traveling the world with great people. I would have never had those things if I quit. And I'm so glad I didn't quit. I'm so glad I'm continuing this adventure as a merchant mariner on a ship in the sea around the world. It's an awesome opportunity. I hope you start your journey soon. And when you do start your journey, I hope to see you out there and sail on.